Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond the Pages.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, Lisa, listen, you're really ending the year strong over here. We've had a few of these Beyond the Pages events, but this one we're doing something special. We're cookie decorating. Okay. Do you do this with your family, Lisa?
I do. Yes, we love
Okay.
it.
We love cookie decorating. We're celebrating two things today. Number one, we're celebrating finishing I Want to Trust You, But I Don't by Lisa in our Circle 31 book club. It was a fabulous book, Lisa. And our grow groups, I think, would agree. Madeline,
absolutely.
Ellen, and I got to lead some ladies through it, and we saw some wonderful things happen and good discussion come from it, which we'll talk about. And we're celebrating our first full year of Circle 31 book club.
Which is exciting, too.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Kicked off in April, and now we're here. So, ladies, pick what cookie. I'm excited to see what you do. I'm going to show the camera what we got. We have a green tree, okay? We have a Santa stocking. We have a gingerbread man. And then we have a nice blue, very vibrant ornament. So, you
Yes.
girls, pick what you got.
Okay, I think I'm going to do an ornament.
There's some
I'm gonna do
icing and sprinkles.
Gingerbread man. I'm going to pass these to you.
Perfect. And for those of you in the chat, here's what we would love to know. As we decorate some cookies, number one, do you also like to decorate cookies during the Christmas season? And then what is your favorite family tradition over the holidays? It might be cookie decorating, it might be going caroling, but what do you love to do with your friends and your family? Go ahead and let us know. We would love to see. And Lisa, I'm going to we'll see how it goes decorating and talking.
Yes.
Could be a little
Yes.
difficult, but I know you had a big year. I think all three of your girls
Yes.
and your son
Yes.
all had babies.
Yes, 5 grandkids born this year alone.
Wow.
Okay.
What?
And I saw a lovely picture of you guys over Thanksgiving where all your girls were there with their newborns,
That's
which
right.
was lovely.
Yeah.
And so do you have any favorite family traditions, or are you and Chaz going to start any new traditions?
Okay, well, this was kind of an unintentional tradition that
Okay.
I feel like we are starting. So I'll tell you one that's a favorite family tradition that's been
Okay.
in place for a while, and then two, this new one. So Chaz and I love New York. And this year, the reason I say unintentional is because I got invited to go to New York at Christmas time, and it was for a speaking engagement.
Okay.
So it wasn't like we had the idea. But what we decided to do when we went is just to spend a couple of days and let the Lord surprise us with whatever He had for us in New York.
Oh, I love that.
And who knew? I didn't even know about him. And anyways, he asked us to be on. He told us that he's TikTok famous, and so he asked us to be on his Dancing Doorman
And you
feature.
said yes.
Of course. So and we had so much fun doing it.
That's funny.
So unexpected, but so delightful.
You might be going live in any second.
Oh,
Okay.
so exciting.
All right, everybody. Hey, you might have seen that we were frozen, but we were just
Right when I said about doing the unexpected.
Unexpected.
in New York City. And you know what? The unexpected happened here. We lost power at the office.
We
which-
did.
Completely.
I don't
And
know if that's
internet
happened.
and everything.
And all the things, but we are still here. We're still cookie decorating.
We lost you
and-
for a minute, but we're back.
Yes,
back.
but we didn't lose you forever. So, Lisa, you were actually telling us about one of your favorite new traditions of you and Chaz.
Yes. So most of you know that I got married this year, and part of the excitement of Christmas is, for me, it's the traditions. And
Yes.
so I wanted us to hold on to some of our old traditions with the kids for sure. And I'll tell you about one of my favorites that we do with that, but also start a new tradition with Chaz. So this is an unintentional tradition. I got invited to speak up in New York City. And while we were there, we had booked tickets to go see one musical. I had the speaking engagement, and then to see the Christmas Rockettes thing.
Yes, so fun.
And so that's it. But we were having all this time during the days that, we could do something, but we decided not to plan anything and just let God
how
surprise us.
fun.
And just see what
And just
unfolds.
see what unfolds. And we had some of the most delightful things that happened.
Aw, that's
We came out of our hotel one day, and Lenny, the doorman, stopped us and told us we looked fashionable, struck up a conversation with us. And I thought, that's so special.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 55 and you start to get those kind of compliments,
You're
you're
like,
like,
wow.
yes, I will engage
I
you.
still got
yes,
it.
talk as long as you want to, right? It was just really sweet. And so little did we know that Lenny is like TikTok famous, which I'm not on TikTok, so I didn't
I'm
know.
also not on TikTok.
And but anyways, he is known as the Dancing Doorman, And so, of course, we didn't plan this, but Lenny asked if we would be willing to be on his little social media channel. And yes, and so he taught us a little dance.
Oh, it was like a choreographed number?
It was very brief, but yes, it was choreographed. So he taught it to us. And the main thing, though, is just that we were open to engaging with Lenny. And then who knew how much fun we were going to have. And then, yeah, our little dance was on.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
That's kind of fun. And then another thing is we just happened upon a Christmas market and had no idea it was going to be there, but it was so delightful. We ate crepes off the street and it was just hilarious. And then another thing is one of the gals that I follow on social media, she decided to do a pop-up in New York City, announced it at the last moment. It happened to be while we were there. And I thought, you know, one thing that blesses me so much is to go encourage someone else. And so we stood in line and then surprised her when I got to the top of the line. And she was so excited. We were excited. So it was just delightful. So I think that's going to be a new tradition. And you don't have to go to New York to do it. You could just take a day during the Christmas season and just say, I'm going to delight in the Lord and let him direct my path today and just see what happens. See who you encounter. See who you can bless. See what happens. And it was very, very cool. So that's going to be one of our new traditions.
Okay, I love that. And then with family, what do you keep it around?
Okay, so this is kind of hilarious, but my kids are now, most of them in their 30s, and they still want to line up in age order on Christmas morning, and they want to come downstairs and see the gifts like all laid out.
Really?
And they refuse to stop the tradition. And I just think it's hilarious.
Wait, I have
videos of them doing this from the time they're infants to well in their 30s. Now, I'm not saying that we need to encourage this kind of behavior. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it stop. Like, ta-da! Okay, we did that for 30 plus years, right?
Yeah.
But it has just lingered on. But here's the lesson of that is that traditions mean something. It means a sense of belonging within a family. And I think more than just the actual gifts and all of that stuff, it's the little things that everybody knows. We've been doing this for a while. It's a sense of belonging, and that's part of what makes Christmas so special.
Yes, I completely agree. We have one follow-up question, and then we'll kind of get into a few other things. Do you announce each child before they come down, or do you just, fun? Okay.
Yes.
No wonder they like it. It's so nice to be announced every time they come
so
into
it's
the
like,
room.
okay, now it's Jackson and Amanda's turn. Now it's Hope and Michael's turn. Yeah.
Oh, that is fun.
That is fun.
All right, Ellen, really quick, do you have a tradition that you do with your fam?
Christmas stockings are a big deal in my household, and so I feel like that remains the best tradition.
Like, do you open it after all the gifts?
We open
or
it after all
before?
the gifts, but the best part is that my mom individually wraps everything in the stocking. So
Wraps
every
the
little
stocking.
tube of toothpaste or chapstick is individually wrapped.
does.
She
Wow.
does. And so it's just very
I'm
exciting.
a bag
and
girl.
fun.
I just put things in bags and
not
just
my
throw it in
mom.
the stocking, you know? Yeah, not her. Wow, that's awesome. And how fun to like open all those things.
Yes.
That is really special.
Our tradition growing up was we have a tree of all homemade ornaments. And each year we'd make an ornament that represented something that happened that year, and then we'd vote on whose was the best. And I have never won, everybody. Yeah, we stopped that tradition once I got in my 20s, and I felt like that's when I had my best shot. When I was older and I could, try harder.
You never won?
Never won, but I participated.
Yeah, maybe we need to like bring it back and let you win one year.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell my parents. We'll see what they say to that.
I think that would be
It is
fun.
fun. They still put up the tree, which is really, really sweet.
And then you know what you could do? You could get everyone here at the office to help you make the most spectacular ornament ever.
Yes.
Get
we
like
have some
some of our
creative
creative
people.
gals involved. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
All right, I'll bring that up. I'll let you know how that goes. Maybe next year.
Perfect.
And so what we did within Circle 31, we asked you guys, what are some feelings that you feel around the holidays, or when you know you're about to get with some family members, what are some emotions that well up? And after looking through all the answers, we saw anxiety, stress, dread, and sadness were some of the top feelings. Of course, there was joy.
Yep.
But those are some of the top feelings that made it to the surface. And so, although it's fun to talk about Christmas traditions and talk about belonging, sometimes that is really tough around the holiday season, and there's sadness too. And so, Lysa, do you have any tips, or do you have any advice as we prepare for interactions or conversations with family members that just might, I think you used to say, bump into your happy?
Yes, absolutely. Well, one thing I would say is go ahead and expect that it's going to happen so it doesn't completely catch you off guard. and be prayed up before it happens.
That's a good one.
And also surrender your anxiety to the Lord, which can sound like, oh, it's such a Christianese answer. But no, I mean, really intentionally that morning before that challenging family member, comes to your house or is at that gathering that you're going to, pray a prayer where you really just say, Lord, I surrender this anxiety about this person. I just surrender it to you. And Lord, I'm asking you to go before me and make the rough places smooth. And then whatever happens that day, just remember, they don't have enough power over you to make you act any certain way. So don't give them that power. If they trigger you, they hurt you, they say something, whatever happens, if you are already prepared that the Lord is going to help you remain stable, then just remember, they don't have the power to make you do anything. And you're only responsible for what you say and what you do. You're not responsible for what you don't say and what you don't do, right? And so let it be that just because they lay down an offense does not mean you have to pick it up and carry it with you and make it ruin your whole Christmas day.
So good.
Yeah, that is good and practical, which is always nice before you go into a meeting with a family member or friend. And so what would you say to somebody with those words, anxiety, stress, dread, and sadness? What would you say to somebody who might be dreading the holidays because of these family relationships? Like any encouragement?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, that's kind of normal. I mean, the reality is that we all have certain relationships, or at least most of us do, that we have them that are challenging, and especially when it's family, because there's a history there. And the number one killer of relationships is simmering resentments. And so knowing that beforehand, before you even are going to see that person or whatever, just check your heart and ask yourself, like, what are these simmering resentments that I might have against this person? And I'm not saying they're not legitimate, because trust me, sometimes people have done some really mean things, especially inside of a family dynamic. And I am like, I know that hurt. I know that pain. But also, I know how good it feels for me to walk into a situation like that and determine that I'm not going to add to the problem. And there's this beautiful thing that if they really start ramping up and doing something, you can just say, excuse me, I have to go to the restroom. And no one's going to stop you from going to the restroom, right?
Right.
And the restroom's a wonderful place. You can go, you can regroup, you can recalibrate, let them get engaged talking to someone else. And then
that's
just
actually quite smart.
Like, come back and get back in. And if you need some encouragement, hop on the Proverbs 31 social media. We will have plenty of encouragement for you.
That's true. Probably
or
some
hop on my Instagram. I'll be right there waiting to give you some encouragement and reminders from the trust book, whatever. But just know you're not powerless. You have agency to do what you need to do to protect yourself.
That's great. Okay, before I get to the next question, Ellen, I need the red. Do you mind passing the red
absolutely.
icing?
Here you
Thanks.
go.
I'm still really working hard. I actually moved on to my second cookie. Anybody else?
Oh,
green.
no.
Yeah.
You know what? I am so behind, you guys.
No, but you're really answering some hard hitter questions. So you just keep focusing on what you got. One of our Grow Group leaders, who's not here, she actually lives in Chicago. You know her, you love her, Madeline.
Yes.
Isn't she a
Oh,
delight?
yes. I love Madeline. She's one of my favorite people.
She's wonderful. She's actually in the chat, so shout out to Madeline. Thank you for leading a group. But what she noticed is after reading your book and going through it, some women have really gained their trust confidence and they feel like they can start trusting others again. And then some are still in that place of not exactly sure how to trust. They're still really processing and taking in what you had to say in this book and really wrestling with scripture. And so just some encouragement for the woman who's trying to stay the course, who's still trying to figure out what all those things go into, all those trust issues that she might have, and just building those trust muscles. What encouragement do you have for that woman?
Okay, well, remember, sometimes distrust is the wisest choice to make.
Great reminder.
That doesn't make you less of a person. That doesn't make you unkind or unchristian. It means trust is a track record. And trust is built time plus believable behavior. And so when someone has broken your trust, it probably is going to take some time to do one of two things. Either to rebuild trust with that person or to heal from the separation that broken trust may cause, especially if it's repeated trust, because repeated broken trust, because you can't rebuild trust that continues to get broken. So what I would say to you is take time. Realize that this healing process, it's probably going to be slow. The rebuilding process, very slow, and it needs to be. And as you're trying to wrestle through, maybe you're taking the path of trying to rebuild trust with someone. Remember, one of the biggest telltale signs of them really being serious about rebuilding trust after they've hurt you, broken your trust, whatever happened, is when you have a question, maybe something is feeling not right, off, or you're getting triggered in your pain. How they react to your question will tell you a lot. If they shame you, say like, what, you're not over this yet, or they blame you like you're crazy, or they say something like, I mean, I've moved past this, why can't you? Whatever it is, if they try to throw the hurt back at you and they get defensive and angry at you, that's not a terrific sign. Now, it doesn't mean that they're doing the worst of the worst, but what it does mean is there's not a lot of humility happening in their heart to really show the type of care and compassion that you need when your trust has been broken. And so on the flip side of that, if you say like, oh, I'm feeling triggered in pain, and I just saw you on your phone, can I look at your phone or whatever? If they go, of course, I have nothing to hide. If that's their response, then that will be another one of those believable behavior things, because remember, trust is built time plus believable behavior. And that can do a lot to repair that trust.
Yeah. So there's some indicators that you can look for, which
That's
is nice
right.
too.
That's right. And the biggest indicator of all is the fruit of the Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
When
That's good.
God's Spirit is active in someone, their actions, their words should be evidence of that through love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. So there should be evidence of that fruit of the Spirit growing in their life.
Great reminder, Lisa. That's fabulous. Well, you continue to work on your cookie. It's looking nice.
I know. I'm being so slow.
No, it's looking really, really great. Ellen, if you want to get to our second part of celebration, which is the fact that we've had 1 year, we've done 4 books, everybody, which Ellen's going to get into. But just celebrate Circle 31 and what's happened this year. That'd be great.
I love Circle 31. Let me just say that. It has
You
been...
do, which is your enthusiasm and your joy radiates every day in the
thanks,
office
Kendra.
and through a screen. And so I'm very grateful.
I just love that we get to do this together. So one of the reasons that we started Circle 31 was to create a place where women can grow in their lives, both spiritually and also relationally. And it's just been, like I said, the biggest joy to be able to watch people grow in this past year. So we've also grown as Circle 31 in the year.
We have.
Since we launched in May, we have over 58,000 women a part of Circle 31 Book Club.
Which is a lot of
It's
lot of
closer to
people.
59, I'll tell you. I pulled these statistics a couple days ago, and they've already changed. We've shared now almost 13,000 chat messages.
Wow.
And I bet that number has grown even more today. We've seen life change happen. We've had 12 different grow groups, and all over the span of 4 books. And
those grow groups are led by staff, right?
Yes,
Which
by
has been a lot of fun
Proverbs
too.
31
So different,
staff,
12 different staff members, or
Exactly.
almost.
Which I think is really special because it gives people an opportunity to connect with the heart of Proverbs 31. And the heart of Proverbs 31 are the people.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I love
and
that.
I know it's been cool for staff members that maybe don't have an upfront view every day about
Great point.
what ministry is happening to be able to get that front row view. So it's been really
Absolutely.
special. And while it's so exciting to read the stats of everything that we've grown, that's not our primary way that we like to measure growth. We like to celebrate the stories of individual people. And so I'm going to share one of our own very dear friends, Miss Sarah, who's in book club, what she had to say about Circle 31 Book Club. She said, when Proverbs 31 Ministries announced at the beginning of this year that they would be starting Circle 31 Book Club, I was so excited. Having never been a part of a book club before, I was thrilled to have this opportunity. Each book selected to be read has spoken to my heart and helped me walk a more faithful life. And each book taught me more about how to live out my faith in a world that seems to put less emphasis on living for our Savior, Jesus Christ. It has been amazing to read books with women from all over the world. I'm all in for another year of Circle 31 Book Club, and I can't wait to see what we'll be reading next. And let me tell you, we have some exciting things coming up in 2025. So Kendra, can you tell us anything about what we have in store?
I feel like we need a drum roll.
I know. We were told not to be too loud on the table, but I'll do it.
Okay.
So our first book, we're going to read it starting February 1st, and we actually just had the opportunity to be with the author, film tons of stuff for you. It's going to be Relaxed, The Walking with the One Who Isn't Worried About a Thing by Megan Fate Marshman. And let me tell you, she is an absolute delight. Ellen's friend said it best. Ellen's friend said, you can tell that she's been with Jesus, and you really can. And so this book is for the woman who might be struggling with overwhelm, anxiety, shame, wondering how God can use her. But ultimately, Megan reminds us to continue to go to God with everything, and she does a great job. And so that's what we're reading, first book of 2025, starting February 1st. So you have the opportunity to get the book. You can go to p31bookstore.com. And there's a lot happening on Circle 31. Just because we're not reading a book doesn't mean that we're not hanging out with you. And so we have some fun games planned, some giveaways, just some journal prompts that we can take in to the new year as we set ourselves up for success and figuring out those areas that we want to grow in this year. And we have a lot of fun things. And so, ladies, how are the cookies? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Do we want to show them to people? Do we feel good about
Yes,
that?
I think
You go first, Ellen. Lisa's finishing
a
up.
little gingerbread man.
I like
Look
the
at that.
buttons. The
Thanks.
buttons are a nice touch, the snowflakes.
Thank you.
Okay, Lisa, yours is
and
a nice touch.
Mine's a little ornament. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Striped. Yes,
Right?
that's
the,
very nice.
The icing is still a little wet, so the more I hold it up, the more it's going to drip. But that could also be part of the delightful pattern,
like
right?
icicles,
You know?
delightful pattern. Okay, we did two, but that is my personality, just trying to like get things done. We did a tree, so that's exciting with some ornaments. And then I'm not too impressed with this one, but at least it shows.
You know
some
what?
fun.
This one
Oh,
is.
Lisa, what are you gonna say?
I love it. Actually, it just needs a little. It just needs like a little tiny bit right there,
We'll
and
add
then
that.
I think you are well on your way to having a
Okay.
beautiful ornament there.
Perfect, everybody. Well, listen, thank you for a great year in Circle 31. Lisa, thank you for rounding us out with our last book of this year. It was a lot of fun, and we learned a lot.
You are so welcome. And I just want to say, as we wrap up, just a couple of things.
Yes.
Number one is, as you journey through, like as we close the trust book and as you continue to, go on with relationships, there's always going to be a reason to revisit this message. And even though I'm the author of the message, I still have to revisit it myself. Sometimes I can really get stuck in that feeling of hopelessness around a challenging relationship. Like it's never going to get better. I don't know. There's no believable behavior. And I keep trying and trying and trying, But just know you're not alone. It's always good to just open it back up, get encouraged. Some of the chapters that I would really encourage you to revisit at times.
Yes, you got them at the top of your head?
Yes, I
Okay,
got them
let's
at the
look
top
at
of my head. One of them is the Ice Makers and Oceans chapter. Just remember, just
Chapter
because we've been hurt doesn't mean we have to live hurt. It's a big, beautiful world out there. And sometimes with challenging relationships, they can feel all-consuming. But my challenge is, don't let it consume you. It can certainly have some of your attention, but it shouldn't have all of your attention. And then also revisit the red flags, because sometimes when you get that ick feeling, even inside of an existing relationship or a new relationship, it's just helpful to have words to put to whatever challenging feelings that you're having. And so I pray that the message continues to bless you time and time and time again.
That's great. Well, Lisa, thank you so much. You guys, thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon. We love talking with you, and I hope you have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. Bye, everybody.